Anna Howard Shaw, The Fundamental Principle of a Republic, June 21st, 1915. When I came into your hall tonight, I thought of the last time I was in your city. 21 years ago, I came here with Susan B. Anthony, and we came for exactly the same purpose as that for which we are here tonight. Boys have been born since that time and have become voters, and the women are still trying to persuade American men to believe in the fundamental principles of democracy. And I never quite feel as if it was a fair field to argue this question with men. Because in doing it, you have to assume that a man who professes to believe in a Republican form of government does not believe in a Republican form of government. For the only thing that women's enfranchisement means at all is that a government which claims to be a republic should be a republic and not an aristocracy. The difficulty with discussing this question with those who oppose us is that they make any number of arguments, but none of them have anything to do with women's suffrage. They always have something to do with something else. Therefore, the arguments which we have to make rarely ever have anything to do with the subject, because we have to answer our opponents, who always escape the subject as far as possible in order to have any sort of reason in connection with what they say. Now, one of two things is true. Either a republic is a desirable form of government, or else it is not. If it is, then we should have it. If it is not, then we ought not to pretend that we have it. We ought to at least be true to our ideals, and the men of New York have for the first time in their lives the rare opportunity on the second day of next November of making the state truly a part of the Republic. It is the greatest opportunity which has ever come to the men of the state. They have never had so serious a problem to solve before. They will never have a more serious problem to solve in any future of our nation's life. And the thing that disturbs me more than anything else in connection with it is that so few people realize what a profound problem they have to solve on November 2nd. It is not merely a trifling matter. It is not a little thing that does not concern the state. It is the most vital problem we could have. And any man who goes to the polls on the second day of next November without thoroughly informing himself in regard to the subject is unworthy to be a citizen of this state and unfit to cast a ballot. If a woman's suffrage is wrong, it is a great wrong. If it is right, it is a profound and fundamental principle, and we all know, if we know what a republic is, that it is the fundamental principle upon which a republic must rise. Let us see where we are as a people, how we act here, and what we think we are. The difficulty with the men of this country is that they are so consistent in their inconsistency that they are not aware of having been inconsistent, because their consistency has been so continuous and their inconsistency so consecutive that it has never been broken from the beginning of our nation's life to the present time. If we trace our history back, we will find that from the very dawn of our existence as a people, men have been imbued with a spirit and a vision more lofty than they have been able to live. They have been led by visions of the sublimest truth, both in regard to religion and in regard to government, that ever inspired the souls of men from the time the Puritans left the Old World to come to this country, led by the divine ideal, which is the sublimest and the supremest ideal in religious freedom which men have ever known. The theory that a man has a right to worship God according to the dictates of his own conscience, without the intervention of any other man or any other group of men. And it was this theory, this vision of the right of the human soul, which led men first to the shores of this country. Now, nobody can deny that they are sincere, honest, and earnest men. No one can deny that the Puritans were men of profound conviction, and yet these men who gave up everything in behalf of an ideal hardly established their communities in this new country before they began to practice exactly the same sort of persecutions on other men which had been practiced upon them. They settled in their communities on the New England shores, and when they formed their compacts by which they governed their local societies, they permitted no man to have a voice in the affairs unless he was a member of the church, and not a member of any church, but a member of the particular church, which dominated the particular community in which he happened to be.